Hey everybody, how we doing tonight? Happy Wednesday. Holy cow. Lots of people here already, all really cool to see. Thank you everybody for stopping in. We got quite a few people already in the chat. Looks amazing. I don't know where this is all happening, but it is what it is. Man, the Beamy, Little Alien, Billy Woods Mods, Human, Dennis B, Corner Kate have all made comments already. So we're gonna get started. We got a big show tonight. Lots of news in the pinball space, really around the world, and all over the place. So we have lots of different stuff to cover tonight. Some of the community topics are as such. We're gonna cover the 70% off sale. We're gonna cover the Flipper Friends changes, with some of the different changes with not only the tournament itself, but some of the formatting, the number of tables, all of that jazz. We're gonna talk a little bit about the customer service changes. We are going to have a section tonight about something I don't really want to talk about, but we're going to have to. YouTuber creative integrity. So that's something that we're going to have to deep dive into as well, to talk about some of that as well. First of all, we're going to get into a community mod this week. Had another great community mod, so Head of the Clash, you're popular. Mike sounds phenomenal. Thanks, guys. Corner Cade, howdy, folks. Hope you're doing fine. That's right, man. That's Billy Woods' kind of deal, so... Have a few more packs to grab tonight. Should be good. Little Alien. Yeah, we got lots of stuff. People are buying games left and right, so that's really important. So let's go over. This is the topics that we just talked about here. We're going to go over these and a whole lot more. So we'll get into it, see what we got to cover here. But, all right. Let's start off with some real pinball news. So the biggest news of the week in the world of real pinball has to be Beetlejuice. Obviously, this is the new game from Spooky. It's coming out this fall-ish, winter, probably maybe the spring, probably the time before it'll actually get to the wild. They are going to announce and actually show this game for the first time this Friday, the 14th. What's funny about this is that Stern got a little cheeky, if you will, and they decided they're going to do their reveal of the Walking Dead remaster on the same day. I thought that was interesting. So you got the Walking Dead remake that we talked about last week, in the ugly color scheme and stuff like that. They're going to go over a kind of a deep dive of the gameplay for this and what the different changes and stuff that had happened from it. Pretty interesting to see, but it is a little cheeky that they decided to do it the same night as Beetlejuice. There's no question that Beetlejuice is going to be a big hit. There's a lot of people that have really been excited for this quite a long time. I know Carrie talked about it tonight as well, and he had a video all about Beetlejuice talking about it, so if you're interested in that, definitely check him out as well. Man, there's a lot of hype around this table. I'm super excited to see it. Obviously, Winchester is just about to go live in a lot of new locations. I'm actually going to be able to play it down in Monroe probably within the next week or so. I think that's going to show up mid-November here. So I'm really excited to play that game, and when I get the chance, I'll definitely take my tripod out and do some footage of that as well. So yeah, that's the real news for the week. Codes are still being updated on games here and there. There's still rumors of an X-Men final code update and things like that coming out for real pinball, but not a lot going on other than the pinball show from a couple months ago at the end of first part of October really was kind of the boom for Winchester and the finalization of Doom and Space Hunt and some of the things that I would talk about. So hey, it's called competition. Yeah, it is competition. And Stern obviously wants to fight to keep their market share, which they have a very good hold on right now. But I got to tell you, Barrels of Fun and Spooky have been coming along pretty hard lately. So it's good to see. Competition, especially in this space, is really awesome to see. So, awesome. So, Beetlejuice and The Walking Dead to be revealed this Friday. So that will be an interesting thing to see what becomes of it. Next up, we're going to talk a little bit about Flipper Friends. So we'll do the winners first. I know it's late in the week, and they've already been covered 16 different times at other places. But here they are. We've got a couple of people, even from our own, my Discord. You got Faith Harley, who's there, and won the $25 gift card this week. Spectre Gaming sounds really familiar. I don't know that I've met them. I think they're in the Mox's Room game Discord as well. I know that I've talked to him specifically at some point or another. So that was the winners on the 4K side. Funny, I never ever freaking win. One of these weeks, I figure I'm just somehow win one of these, but it hasn't happened yet. So, hey RTX, let me know when you head out to Monroe to play Winchester. Maybe I head down there too. Zeldor, yeah, Zeldor is local to me, and we played it. That was really cool. We played at Sparks up in the that's not the Oakland Mall. Is it the Oakland Mall? No. Yeah, Oakland Mall. So we played up there a couple weeks ago. I think I showed some pictures of it and stuff. So yeah, absolutely, Zelda. We'll let you know, man. I definitely want to get down there and play it. Here's the winners on the HD side. Sorry, you can't even see the guy's name. L. Dwayne B on the side there. None of these people I know, but hey, good for them. You know, they switched over to actual gift cards as opposed to coupons, if you will. So that was a big change as far as the longevity of the gift cards. They last forever. They are just basically cash on a card as opposed to giving you a 3-month coupon, if you will, that you had to spend. So it's a whole new thing. So that's really cool to see. Let's see if I can do this. See if it actually works. Trying to highlight the... we're going to figure that out at some point. Trying to do a highlight for the chats, and I still can't get it to work. So one of these days we'll get that figured out. Using Streamlabs has not been the best for a lot of things, but it's been good for a lot of other things. So at any rate. All right. Human says, I got my gift card today from the Halloween tournament. Awesome, man. So you got some games to buy before the end of the week. As you know, this sale, that's a good segue, actually, we're going to get into a couple different sales going on right now. The big one, quite frankly, is the up to 70% off sale. Now, we've had quite a few packs come out in the last couple of months, all those deluxe tables and all that stuff. We've also had a lot of Zen tables come out. They are not eligible for this sale. I did do a couple videos on these if you're interested. I did one a couple weeks ago about the top 10 games you need to buy during the 50% off sale. That video still applies. Those 10 games are very, very good and probably the best on the system as far as the non-Zen tables. So we're talking Gottlieb tables, we're talking Zachariah, we're talking Magic Pixel, and we're talking At Games Originals. So all of those games are eligible for that. This just tells you that they are on sale again from November 10th to the 16th. So you've got a few more days. You've got till the end of the week, Sunday night, I think, to be able to get all these games in. Do not sleep on them. They are a wonderful price right now. I even did a short that covers all the prices. So if you just want to look at the prices really quick, most of the $8 games are 40% off. So they're about $4.80 for the bigger ones. And for some of the cheaper ones, I think they were $2.40-ish or something like that. So some really good deals out there for these. So if you're looking about getting games before the end of the holidays, this is the time. I know that for a fact there is going to be some more sales between now and the end of the year, but we don't know what the percentages are going to be. So I don't know that they're ever going to get better than this. So definitely jump on them when you can. Really great sales look right now. Okay. Next up, we have to talk about these Zen tables. So the Zen tables, while they are not on sale, they are kind of part of the sale thinking right now because it's very, very important right now. Get your Zen tables now if you're going to get them. They are going to go up in price on November 14th. Now, I have to applaud At Games in the idea of doing this. They're not raising the prices of the Zen tables specifically. I think it's probably Zen expecting to do that. Maybe it's a little bit of At Games because of the conversions and things like that. But at any rate, one way or another, they were transparent about it. They told us, look, they're going to go up. Here's the date. Get them while you can. I think we've all kind of agreed. Zen tables have been particularly cheap for quite a while. I know they were cheap for a reason because you could buy them on like 6 different consoles. I'm guilty of buying them on Switch and Steam and At Games and VR and even mobile for some of them, so I'm completely guilty of that. Maybe with a higher price point, I'll be a little more choosy on where I buy them. Maybe I'll stick to just VR and At Games. Hopefully that's the case, but I can't help myself sometimes, and some of you guys are the same way, so it is what it is. So get those Zen packs now while you can. I did a quick video on about the four that if you only had $20 that I would get, but there's so many. You could swap any number of alternatives to that or alternates to make that work. There's lots of games there that are well worth your time and money. Very deep rule sets on literally all the Zen tables. Even the Zen originals have very deep rule sets. They're very usually well crafted. There's only a couple that have some really bad bugs. Samurai's Vengeance is the biggest one I can think of that has a really bad bug in it, where you can crash the game and not get your score. That's a game breaker. There's one in Jurassic World where the first mission, if you do selectable missions in the movie order missions, the Raptor mission is very difficult to do. Do random missions, and you can get past it and get some good points that way. But just be mindful of that. Most of the Zen tables are pretty good, though, and you shouldn't have to worry about bugs necessarily. There's a few bugs that we're getting worked on the Zachariah side that At Games is working on. As you know, I'm in contact with them to some degree. So they're starting to look at some bugs and different things. Obviously, you've seen a lot of changes that they're doing, not only to their Flipper Friends format that we talked about, the sales that they're doing. We just changed the firmware up. There's a lot of stuff happening in that space. So, and in that, I want to talk a little bit more about that too. Let's talk more about the Flipper Friends, the side that we didn't talk about. I probably should have covered that a second ago and didn't. Rudley Smith, I don't have enough room in my system for more. You got to get yourself a thumb drive, man. You got to do it, Rodley. Do it quick. Get them on there. Move every game you can to your jump drive. It makes a world of difference. You don't want to have stutter with your games and stuff like that. So this here was the Flipper Friends announcement from November 6th. This was a big change. As you know, we were doing 5 games every week. It was an absolute grind. We had a couple of we had like between 2 and 3 Zen tables generally, and then a lot of times we had a Gottlieb table, and we had maybe a couple Zechariah or At Games Original. That went away. First, they took away the Gottlieb games, I think mostly by our request. We said basically these all have bugs, they have scoring issues. They don't necessarily upload properly. They took those out of the tournament, so that was a nice change. They introduced a lot of the Zechariah Magic Pixel remake tables from the ones that have the years in them, either 2016, 2018. The remake tables are very, very good, and there was a lot that didn't have... They had some really cool modes and things like that. They started bringing those into the tournament, so that was a big plus. This here was something even different. Now with the introduction of the HDP, the Ninja Turtles cabinet, they have decided to make a unified tournament for all Flipper Friends, across all systems. So not only do you have the arcades themselves that have our pinball packs on those, there's the Puck that has them, the Gamer Pro connection points that have adapters on them, the Micro has pinball on it. The HD has pinball on it, of course, and then the HDP and the 4K. All of those are on a unified system now. All uploads from all those scores go to the same leaderboards for Flipper Friends. And I think that is going to be a huge positive. And we only have 3 tables now. Just 3. No, there is not Zen tables currently. Now, because not all of those systems have the ability to play Zen tables, only HDP and 4K can play the Zen tables, and HDP does not have them as of yet. It sounds like we'll probably see those, probably not this year, probably the first part of next year. There's all speculation on that, when that'll actually happen. But Zen tables are going to be coming to the HDP, and then at that point, maybe they start to reintroduce Flipper Friends to have those additional tournaments, or additional tournaments for those. I think in the meantime, what I'm hearing is that they're going to do Zen exclusive tournaments for the 4K folks, probably between now and the end of the year. So hopefully there'll be a couple of those to play, and you can be able to participate in those. So what they're talking about here is the one unified tournament. They did change the name of the IFPA ratings to the Virtual World Pinball Players Rankings. So a little more confusing, the WVPPR. So say that 10 times fast, you'll probably get arrested. The next thing is the easier qualification. So before you had to play all 5 of the games to become eligible for that. That is not true anymore. Now you just need to play one of the tables to be qualified for that qualification for the rewards. Now, if you still want to be part of the IFPA ratings or the VWPPR ratings, you still have to play all 3 tables and you still have to be in the top 50 to get a full ranking for that week. So just be mindful, it's the same formatting, if you will, but you only have 3 tables to be in the top 50 now for. So, huge improvement. I think everybody can get behind that. Yes, we're going to be a little disappointed not having Zen tables available for that for the time being on the 4K side. But for everybody else, we're bringing the entire community, not we, at Games, they're bringing the entire community together on one tournament board. And I think, in the end, I think that's going to be a plus for the entire community. So anyway, also a lot more prizes. I think we talked about this once before. They're going to be moving from 16 prizes up to 20. So there'll be more prizes as well. And then, of course, the DPWR winners will be increased from 1 to 3. So there's some improvements there too. So yeah, it might not be exactly how we all wanted it or expected to see it, but it is an improvement, I think. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Okay. Next up, let's do our community mod. This is something that I wanted to do earlier and did not. So this was seen on Facebook earlier today, and I was super excited about it. This here is from Randy Tennyson. He did this is apparently was a Sea of Thieves 4KP with all the bells and whistles, and he has updated this thing to amazing proportions. He's added the 3M filter, the best money that he said that he'd spent so far, which is shocking to me. That the 3M filter is something that I have not done to my 4KP. I know a lot of you have. I bought the $6 film and haven't even installed it, so it tells you my priority level on that. He did change the flipper buttons. He did the mirror blades the same as I did, and I know Chelada Love is doing. Billy Woods Mods, obviously, you did it on both your systems before selling the HD. New back glass, under cabinet lighting, OTG with gaming controller, pinup popper for all formats. And you can see he did a skin with Batman 66, which I think is just awesome. Obviously, he's a Batman fan. He is using OTG here. That is why you see the pup pack for Batman 66. And you could also play this in VPXX standalone as well. Yeah, doesn't this look awesome? I am so excited about this, man. Like, I'm not even a Batman fan, but this looks awesome. Sea of Thieves was kind of a generic theme for a lot of people. They didn't have a real connection to it. So to be able to reskin this to Batman 66 is pretty awesome. He's even got his PC right beside it, ready to go, and that's pretty awesome. So I asked him if I could show this on the show tonight, so thank you to Randy Tennyson for letting me do that. I'm going to try to continue to show a mod every week of just some of the different things that people do in this community. Really awesome to see. I tell you what, man, like, it always surprises me how much people can mod the simplest of things. Like, I look at my 4KP and I'm like, there's really not much you can mod. And come to find out, you got speaker grills. Chaotic's done his speaker grills with the LEDs, and I know Billy Woods Mods has done some of that. Chris Chisholm, who sells the mirror blades, talked to me today about doing them for the micro. So I'm super excited about that. I offered to give him dimensions or anything he needed. I took some pictures and sent them over to him. If you guys are interested in seeing mirror blades for micros, put it in the chat. I'd like to hear. I'll actually do a poll on my YouTube channel too to see how many people actually want that. I thought about it after I got them installed on this. I'm like, they look pretty good on the micro too. Like, the screen's pretty small on the micro, so if you add the bit of mirror blade, it's going to give it just a little bit more depth to it and a little bit bigger size. It'd make the table and make it look bigger than it is. So I think that would be exciting. So for me, I'm thinking, yeah, let's do it. That'd be awesome. All right. I'm going to take a drink of water because I'm talking too much and too fast. Okay. Next up, let's talk about customer service changes. Holy crap. We have talked a lot about customer service woes and firmware issues in this community. So this is a real positive change, I think. Now, it remains to be seen how this will be implemented and how it'll work or how quickly it'll come online. But this was a public service announcement. I love how they did that. Talent Pop a company out of Costa Mesa, California, is now going to be doing the customer service portion for At Games. So this is really interesting to see what they're going to do with this. It sounds like there's going to be a level of tech support where you can actually call and email and actually connect to actual people. And they went so far as transparency here that if you notice in here, this is pretty fantastic. They actually say right in here, and as part of the commitment to transparency and continuous improvement, we'll begin sharing weekly customer support metrics on our social media channels. Like, wow. Mind blown, right? That's a lot. No, it's one thing to do it. It's another to put it online every week and tell people how you're doing. Like, not only are they going to do it, they want to be accountable to themselves to make it happen. So I would expect that these people are going to have to get well-trained, like they talk about here, well-trained agents. They're going to be dedicated to doing this service. Now, this is not only to the home At Games systems, because first of all, do you think this will work? Do you think it's going to be AI? Do you think you're going to have to go through prompts? I'm really curious to see what people think of this. Little Alien says, I'm sure there'll be AI used for many of the knowledge base. Yeah, we just talked about, yeah. While they're going to be sharing statistics, I suspect there'll be lightweight stats like how quickly the AI answered the questions. I hope that's not the case, Little Alien. I hadn't thought of that. I'd be curious to see for sure. Biggie D, welcome to the stream, man. Yeah, I will be curious to see how it's implemented, what kinds of stats. One that I want to see is response time. Not only the automated response that you get, but what is the average time from submission of request to completion? Are we talking 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks? Some of those things are going to be more difficult than others when you're talking about hardware. Zaldor says, nowadays it's getting harder to tell if it's AI or not. It's true. You can't even go to a White Castle or a Taco Bell anymore without ordering through AI. It's very difficult to do. Yeah, it's going to be a chatbot central. Dennis B says, yeah, you're probably right, man. It's super disappointing. I got to say, there is something to that, and I wish it was not that, but we'll see. I think that the fact that they're doing it at all and announcing it and being as transparent as they are, they're going to be held accountable in some way, shape, or form. So I would hope that it comes to fruition, that it gets taken care of properly, right? We hope. So at any rate, that's what it is. All right. So the next thing we need to talk about, and really hopes this helps them turn things around for Billy Woods Mods. You are so right, man. They have had, if you look at their customer service ratings on the Better Business Bureau and stuff like that, they are not great. It doesn't mean they haven't been trying. It doesn't mean that they're not doing their best. But they've had enough negative responses and enough negative stuff over time that it's been tough. They are a very small team that sells hardware, and they are associated with people who sell software. So while At Games themselves has software and they have a team dedicated to software, you couldn't even submit a ticket for software related stuff up until even now. You really can't. It's all for hardware stuff. So they're very much a hardware company, and now getting the blend of that, getting Talent Pop to be able to handle some of the customer service, hopefully is a good thing. So we'll see. I'm really rough on them when it comes to support. Billy Woods Mods, that's okay. It's okay, man. We expect people to be rough on them. We want accountability. We want people to be transparent, and I think at least they're trying to do that. So I'd love to know if they'll share how quickly actual operators resolve issues such as firmware issues, shipping of replacement PCBs or arcade control panels, etc. Not just time to answer the phone. Yeah, that's what I was saying too. I don't want just the response time for the automation. That's not enough. Sometimes the automation hasn't even worked currently. You get people that have said they dropped a ticket. People on Facebook specifically is what I'm talking about. They say they dropped a ticket. It's been 2 weeks. We have heard nothing, and that's not okay. That's not okay at all. So hope they step it up. I really do. Really, a Little Alien, man. I know you're right, man. I really want them to too. Kudos for them for realizing terrible at customer service and they needed to outsource to a dedicated company that specializes in. That's fine, Dennis B. You're absolutely right. It's one thing to recognize it, and there's a quite a bit. I'm sure there's a substantial cost associated with a customer service of this nature, so it's going to be something that they need to do. Human says 12 days and I still haven't gotten my Zen game I purchased on the 1st. Ugh. See, that's the kind of stories that are a bummer, man. And you hope I hope you got the discounts and stuff that are associated with that at the time. That was probably around the 50% off sale at that time. So hopefully you got the savings. You just haven't gotten the game. You're going to get the game eventually. That's one thing or another, right? But hopefully you got the savings along with that. It's still frustrating. There's no question. It's frustrating for all that stuff. So with all the stuff that they've changed between Flipper Friends and all the sales and everything that's going on, we really haven't seen any new releases of games as of late. Obviously, TMNT and the 2 Elvira games were the most recent. We'll see how many we get between now and the end of the year. I don't know that we'll see a lot. I'll be curious if we get a pack of Zen, maybe a couple more Magic Pixel games, and that'll probably be it for the year. But they did have some big news. The big news, and let's hear, I'll show this portion of it first. This was the formal announcement. So this week we got word that, and this is something that I alluded to when I was at the Chicago Pinball Expo, dealing with, remember I went to that, I had showed you a flyer, a piece of paper that actually had a Space Invaders cabinet on it. Here it is. The At Games Legends Pinball 4K Premium Deluxe X. So I think they got with Nintendo to try to figure out how to name things, because that's getting pretty lengthy there. They could have just called it a Premium X and called it a day. But this is a 4KP Premium X system. And what this is, from what I'm hearing, we're not completely sure about what this is. There's rumors out there. I know Chaotic, during his time at Games, had said that there was rumors of this device that had kind of like shatterproof glass, that it had a waterproof control panel, heavier wood, that this would be a more robust system used for commercial use. It's still going to be a 4K display. The displays are not going to be different. There's not going to be a different sound effects kit, from what I understand. They are announcing this in a Space Invaders cabinet. And they also said at the end of this that they are going to be releasing a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Legends 4K Premium Deluxe as well. So you'll be able to get the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle skin in a 4KP. So that's a little confusing, I will say. I think that they probably should have left that just to the HDP. Because if you buy the 4KP Turtles edition, you'll still have access to all the games, but they'll be different than the ones that you would have to buy for the HDP. I don't know. I worry about the confusion on that. But at any rate, it's a great IP. They obviously want to get it out there. It's a beautiful cabinet. We showed it last week. I still have not got my review unit yet. That's still coming. They're still talking about it. Dennis B says, we might be getting a new Zen right after price increase. Yeah, that's probably true, Dennis. You're probably right. And that's maybe what they're holding up for now. It's really 2 days. So if you haven't got those Zen tables already, you have 2 days. So get them before Friday. I don't know what time on Friday is going to be the cutoff, so make sure that you get them now or tomorrow. I would not wait until Friday to be sure. Just get it done. Buy the games. I think even if you spend $20 and you get 4 really good games like I suggested in my video, you'll be really happy. If you can spend $100 and get almost all of them, do it. They're going to be worth it. Trust me. Corner Kid says, where's all my pinball pals at? Holla if you hear me. Corner Kid, you like to raise the roof? Let's freaking go, right? I could bang the desk and it won't hit the mic this time either. But look, it messes up my camera. That's funny. So it doesn't matter. One way or another, I do something stupid. So, so what do you guys think of this thing? Oh, we didn't discuss the price. The price of this thing. Okay, so let's break it down. It has the sound effects kit. It has robust features as far as flipper buttons and glass and waterproofing and all that stuff. This system is going to cost $4,500. $4,500 is the retail price. for the Premium Deluxe X. So that is huge amount of money. Not only do you get the cabinet, you get 187 of their licensed tables. These are premium pinball machines, bring the ultimate experience to the entertainment venues and homes. The rumor is, I heard RTX is giving one away for the daily grind. Human, no I'm not. I can't give away one of these suckers. Holy cow, man. And Nick's subject, welcome to the stream, man. Imagine walking into the arcade at the pinball machines being digital, lol. I don't think this product sells well when people go to the arcade to play actual machines, not digital stuff. It's a good point, Nick, and I'm curious about too. I think these are going to be really good devices for, not for bars necessarily, but maybe like a Chuck E. Cheese. I don't know. Maybe a Chuck E. Cheese. Maybe you have one at your barber shop. Maybe you have one at restaurants. I think a restaurant would do really, really well having one of these. The theory is that these will have a coin door, so you'll be able to pay with credits or coins or swipe a card. Who knows, man? Really, $4,500, I know. It's a lot of money. My guess is Volume 7, Bride of Pinball, Whirlwind, Swords of Fury. Dennis B says, that's good. Corner Kids, he loves it. Flexing, I love it. Man. You're absolutely right, man. The crowd's going crazy here. Remember when I told you it was $4,500? Yeah, Biggie D, you talked about that. You talked to AVS at the time, and that is the company who's doing this. AVS Company is who was at the Chicago Pinball Expo. This is where we've seen that, and Biggie D, you were smart enough to actually ask them the price for that, because I didn't even notice the Space Invaders cabinet in the bottom of that, and you went the extra mile and actually asked them, and they told you, believe it or not. So that was really cool. The price is steep, Sonic Slushy. You're not kidding, man. No Zen tables. So it's really interesting to find out. We don't know the specifics on this yet. Obviously, the 187 licensed tables does not include the Zen tables currently. That's correct. You're not wrong, Billy Woods. But it'll be curious to see if they're available for this or not. My curiosity is that because those are licensed through Zen Studios, and they would have to be licensed through Williams and Bally for those additional licenses, that I don't know if these are going to get Zen tables. They might, but I'm wondering how the licensing would work for that. In a commercial setting with a Zen table, with a Williams licensed game, that could be really tricky. I'm not sure how that's going to look. You want to put it out in a bar and charge $1 per game? I mean, would you? So right now, if you go to the arcade, and if you're paying for an arcade game, you typically pay about $2 for 3 credits for pinball. Okay, so if you go up to this and it's $1, and say you get, I don't know how are they going to do credits on this thing for the games themselves? They're digital games, so the game would have to recognize what a credit is for a play of a game. And if that game crashes, so to speak. All right, so say you're playing Space Invaders, right? That game could take 45 minutes for one game, right? Say you step up to this thing, it crashes. Did you lose your credit? Are you going to get that credit back to you? There's a lot of I have a lot more questions than I have answers about this. Even though I'm in contact with that games, I still have a lot of questions regarding this. I like the artwork, but otherwise no interest. I'm a little confused with the Space Invaders artwork. That would suggest that you want to play Space Invaders, which is an arcade game, not a pinball machine. I do like the dark blue. It does look pretty cool. You're right, little alien, about that. I'm curious. I see Jason buying Space Invaders. Okay. I mean, yeah, 180. Dennis B says 187 Magic Pixel retro tables. I hope not. That would be a downgrade for sure. Oh man, at $0.25 a piece, and how many 4KPs has held up would never make it in the price in quarters. Yeah, we don't just pay $20 for a machine at the arcade. Who's putting bills in the machine? Who carries cash on them nowadays? Nobody carries cash. This was gonna have to be like a. It would have to be like a card. Tap to touch or touch to pay kind of a thing, or you have to use your watch or whatever, NFC. Does it come with preferred support for 2 years? I think it does. I think it came with the preferred support, and obviously it's totally decked out. If it has the same buttons as our home editions. There would be concern there. And hopefully anybody who installs this can fix it. They're pretty easy to fix generally, but like exciters, if they started vibrating, do they know enough to just unplug them? There's going to be little questions like that do need to be talked about. So, yeah, it's a thing, man, and I am really concerned about this thing. The thing is they're expanding, right? So this is a big swing here for At Games. Now, apparently they did something like this before back in 2022. I seen some AVS, if you look at their website, they actually show the HD systems as the same thing. They were going to be pushed out to commercial units, and they were going to be used for that stuff. So, and they could still do that. So I don't know why they necessarily needed them to be 4K for these commercial units. They could have been HD units and still had the commercialized materials, because none of these tables are 4K needed, right? We just said 187 tables, but these will all be eligible on the HD systems. So why did they go 4K? Again, more questions than answers. For everything you get with $4,500, it isn't terrible. Not really. When you look at a true V-Pin, in fact, Perfect Storm Gaming actually just put out just did a video the other day about V-Pin. And it's a beautiful system. It's 4K, it's OLED, it's 144 hertz, it's got knockers, it's got gears to make you hear gears, and all these different things that are really, really awesome. The problem is with this thing is that system is $10,000. It's $10,000 for this V-Pin. I mean, are we kidding? $10,000, I mean, you could get a couple of Stern Pros from a few years ago. You could go gangbusters. You could buy a P3 for that. You could buy literally any Stern table. You'd be really close to getting a Jersey Jack for around $10,000. So V-Pin with just about any system any game you could possibly imagine. And I don't even think that would. Does that even include the PC? I don't know that it does. So maybe it does in that case. But the cabinet themselves are usually about $1,000 themselves, and then you take all the components and everything and all the displays and all the amazing things that go into that system to make it work. $10,000. So when people start complaining about the $1,200 HDP, like, I kind of laugh, because I'm like, there is no greater system to get into digital pinball than the At Game system for what it is. Yes, it's not perfect. We all know that. I think we all love it for what it is. But there is no way you're going to get into a V-Pin for anywhere near under $5,000. I've seen them, the cheapest ones that I usually see are about $4,000. This one was $10,000. The one I seen at Chicago Expo was $4,000, and that was an OLED. That was 60 FPS. I mean, it was very nice. The accelerometers work nice. The nudges are crystal, very good. You'd rather buy Harry Potter, Sonic Slush. You're not wrong, man. I know. Why can't we get a Zancor skin, Dennis B? Always the Joker. Yeah. We should go to the next expo and start Hulk smashing the system to see how it holds up. And that's what people will do, right? I am concerned about the durability of anything in the commercial space. If you have been to one of these arcades where it's a free play and you have kids there, they go through and every kid goes up to these machines. They can barely stand over the lock bar, but they're looking at these systems. They're banging on them. They're hitting them as hard as they can on the sides. They're hitting the start button 3 times and then running down the hallway, hitting every single one along the way. Kids are particularly brutal to these machines. Many of the pinball machines obviously are quite old. Not all of them are new in the last 10 years. So a lot of these are really old systems. So durability will certainly be a factor. If they provide 2 years of service for $4,500 and you're getting this device in a restaurant or something, that might be a really good thing. So we'll see. Like when we were at Sparks, yes. Yeah, and Zeldor, you and I seen that a lot. I see it every time I go to the Brighton Arcade. The arcade in Brighton. Every time I go there, they have a loft there where they do kids parties on Saturdays, and so Saturday is a bad day to go It's very loud, first of all, and then there's lots of kids there. And so they go through and they push the start button on every single one. And some of the newer systems, you can hold the start button and it'll actually clear out them and you go back to single player, but most of the older tables do not do that. So you're pretty much locked in. Jabba, welcome to the stream, buddy. So yeah, it can be a challenge for sure, dealing with some of that stuff. Okay, now we're going to get into something a little more serious. So I apologize, but this is going to be a little difficult to talk about, and it's going to be we'll cover this first. Yeah, at the local pinball arcade, one kid smashed his fist on the glass when he lost at Fishtails. Man, that is terrifying. Fishtails is an awesome game. It's probably about $4,000, I would say, as far as worth. Anyway, yeah, kids are brutal. We know that. So the next topic we need to talk about, and like I said, this is not something I want to talk about, but it's something we need to talk about. YouTuber creative integrity. So I have been a YouTuber for a little over a year. I didn't really get big ever. I'm starting to get bigger. You've seen my channel grow from as few as 50 subscribers all the way up to over 600 now, believe it or not. Thanks again to all of you who have subscribed as of late. This channel has been booming like crazy for the last month and a half. So it pains me to even talk about YouTuber creative integrity, but it's something that needs to be talked about. So, all right. First of all, I have been told by many, many people that some of my stuff has been copied, either the ideas or the thumbnails. It's been happening in the community, not only the pinball arcade community, but also in the arcade community as well. This smells of arcade Michael B. Super Chats. Hey, yeah, I'm not going to bring Super Chats into this. You guys can do what you want with that. I'm not going to do any of that. But this is a tough topic because creative integrity is really important to the community and what it stands for. One of the things that I struggled with initially is I don't use Adobe, really. I'm not into Photoshop. That's not something I'm really good at. I use Canva, which is just the free version of, you can see all my thumbnails are pretty generic. I don't really do a lot of crazy stuff like that. But some of the stuff that I do is very important to me. I've researched and I've done different things and I come up with show ideas. I have to create my own thumbnails for all this stuff. And there is things that, I've spent time and effort in doing. And while I understand people are going to be doing a lot of the same things a lot of times, when we're doing the news like this, there's going to be a lot of people who have the same information. They have the same sources to pull from. There's going to be stuff where people are going to knock heads and they're going to have the same generalized stuff. All I ask as a creator is that you don't steal ideas without giving credit. You don't steal thumbnails without giving credit. Okay? There's been way too much of that happening. And so I've talked to a couple creators that were doing it personally. I would never do that in a public forum. I won't do it in somebody's chat. I will not do it in a Discord. I'm going to do it one-on-one with these people. And I have. I've talked to them multiple times. And when their responses were not deemed what I felt necessary to be in my space, I chose to ban them. So it doesn't happen often. And even after I banned them, I gave them time as a reset. I brought them back into my community, and it happened again, and that was it. We talked to them again, and that was it. So these are things that happen in this community which are hard to talk about, and they're difficult to talk about. But there's stuff that needs to be talked about. Another thing. When you are in somebody else's chat, a lot of us are YouTubers. A lot of the people in this chat here that I'm looking at, the Billy Woods Mods and the Dennis B's and the Corner Kids, the little alien who does moderation everywhere, Biggie D, so many of you have some level of creative integrity with doing your channels, doing your content, in your chats. Do not come to somebody else's chat and talk about how many subscribers you have. Don't come into my chat and tell me how many subscribers you have. Don't come at me and tell me how many likes you have or how many views you have. None of that is important to me. What's important to me is you as a creator, or you as a person, that you are enjoying what you do, that you enjoy the content that you are creating, and that you're giving credit where credit is due. These things are so important. I will give full rights to any of my stuff to anybody who wants to use any of my content, whether it be a thumbnail. I mean, thumbnail is too close to what you can change it up with your logos and things like that. You can use my videos. Always credit me. That's all I'll ask. And I'll do it for any one of you. I know how many times have I credited Billy Woods Mods with his wonderful comparison videos, or I've directed you to go watch Dennis B's foul mouth video tutorials. There are so many content creators in this space that do such amazing work. Mine is only one type of work, okay? Even in my show, how many times have you seen a content creator calendar created by me to offer you alternatives to go watch their content? Okay? Let's look at this. So, for example, who knows this guy? Have we ever heard of the Wizard Room on this channel? I hope you have. I've been hyping on the Wizard Room every single week for a long time. The Wizard Room is done by Tomato Grass. He does a fantastic job. This week he had a family emergency and couldn't do it Monday night. He's going to have his show on Friday this week. Go check him out. Amazing show. Him and Chalada Love and Skoljo. I've been on his show. Nick's Reviews has been on his show. There's been a lot of great talent on that show. Check it out if you haven't already. We're going to show a couple more. Whoops. I mean, he's not here yet. He's usually here later. I haven't seen him tonight. Chalada Love. How many times have I've told you to go watch his stuff? Tuesdays and Thursdays. He's gonna have his channel. He does Flipper Friends. I do Flipper Friends. Tomato Grass does Flipper Friends. Mad Ben Han does Flipper Friends. There's so many creators that do this stuff. This is not out of the realm of possibility. You're gonna watch this stuff. Good people making good content. Check them out. This is what we want to see, right? Leon Spiegel, come on, man. I did not say the word super chat so that you would super chat me, but I appreciate you, man. That is incredible. Thank you for that. I don't even know what to say. I hope that it's not. I don't want this to be a super chat type of topic. This is a difficult topic to talk about as a YouTube creator. I still can't believe I'm a YouTuber. I can't even imagine that. Next up, let's talk about this guy, Yo Retro. So this is Brian Robinson, or Chaotic BPR, and his co-host, Half a Dozen Six. This guy was the first guy to shout my channel out. He was awesome early on. I think I had 15 subscribers when he first shouted me out and said, hey, this guy's doing some cool stuff. I had a tripod and a cell phone when I was doing this content. Chaotic's seen my stuff and he's like, he's cool. I think I did I believe I did my tutorial on Sea of Thieves around this time. He shouted it out. It was amazing. And I cannot thank him enough to this day. So many of you, I know Tomato Grass has shouted me out at different times too. This community has been awesome. I talked about a community of friends early on last year, and what it meant to me. The personal interactions that are part of this community that are so important to me. Celebrate those interactions. I don't care about how many users are subscribed to you. I don't care about how many views you get. I worry about the content of your character and about your content being your passion. Is it what you enjoy? Is it what you like doing? Personal engagements. Personal engagements are so important. I can't tell you. I'm going to name off some of the people that I have met in person from this community that have been amazing. Matt and Rebecca. I was at the arcade. Most of you probably don't know Matt and Rebecca. I don't expect you to. I didn't know them until this day. I went to the Brighton Arcade a couple weeks ago. I was sitting there playing Star Wars, The Fall of the Empire, and he goes, dude, you're RTX. You're RTX Pinball. I'm like, yes, I am, actually. We shook hands. He's like, dude, I got to get my wife. This is the guy I was telling you about. This is RetroTech X. His wife, his name was Rebecca. We met. We talked for maybe 10 minutes. We exchanged numbers. And I'm like, dude, we're gonna play pinball together someday. Zaldor, we talked about a couple weeks. We went to Sparks. We had met, and I'm like, dude, let's play pinball together. The Beamy, I met you at the Chicago Pinball Expo. Biggie D, I know we met there. Steps, we met. Jay Pixel from Gamer Fridge, I met him at the Chicago Expo. Vic BP, I had never met him before. We talked about used pinball machines and his experience, and the Flippin' Out gang, Greg and Zach. Zach couldn't make the show, but I got to talk to Greg personally. Greg Bone, he was awesome. Jared and Joel, I mean, Retro Ralph. These are all amazing people that I got to meet in this community, and they are all so awesome, so uplifting. That is the biggest thing that I find in this community. And I joke about it. I know some Michael B's and some, I've talked a lot of you about it in the arcade community. I give you guys a lot of grief about it. The arcade community is much more head-to-head. I think maybe they're more competitive in nature on what they're talking about, or the journalistic thing of being first, not necessarily right. I could be wrong. I don't claim to be right most of the time, but they're a little more cutthroat than they are in the pinball community. I think the pinball community has been very much uplifting and supportive, and that's what I want to continue to be in this channel. Give credit where credit is due. I will always offer you alternatives to my content. If you do not like my vanilla content, or you want to see somebody rage out like a tomato grass, or you want to see a Chilada Love throwing the table, there's people for that. If you want foul mouth tutorials, you can go to Dennis B. Pinball Wizard does some really good stuff with the historical side. Billy Woods Mods does the comparison stuff. There are opportunities for this kind of content in any shape or form that you want to see it. So, speak of the devil, welcome. Chilada Love. Yeah, you speak his name and he just comes alive. Chilada Love's good gaming, man. The healing continues. I hope you're having a wonderful week, man. Awesome to hear. Jabba. I've only uploaded scores runs, but you've always credited the original creator and add a link to the description. It's just common decency. Awesome. You're absolutely right, man. As a new person to the community and hobby, I'm blown away with how cool everybody is. Sonic Slushy, and you are new to this community, and welcome so much. And I will say, too, my Discord channel is a sacred space to me. People are not going to discredit other people. You're not going to talk negatively about other people or other content creators. Not going to happen. I will talk to you one-on-one. We'll address it, and then it'll be over. I've got rules for that kind of stuff, and it is very important. Dennis M., we talked about your channel as well, man. He has a content creator as well. So definitely check all these people out. I wish I could have put all of their names and descriptions in the description for this video. I had not done that. There were so many that I've dropped in there. They're all in my Discord channel if you're not there already. That's something to check out. I put it on the side here. Whoops, over here. The Daily Grind is part of my Discord channel. That is my daily tournament. So, with that, one other thing with content creator integrity, I want to show personally, well, here, we'll go one step further. So this is the video. I want to give some credit where credit is due. So this is a video that was suggested for me to do by a user, Ryan Gong. Ryan Gong, he's I don't know that I've seen him in the chat tonight, but he once upon a time was here every single week. When I did this show on Sunday, he was here all the time. Since I've moved it to Wednesday, it's a little tougher. He suggested this for me, and he created this tier maker pack for me in my Discord. He took all the captures for all these game packs, put them in my Discord, and said, hey, I created this for you. I want you to do a video on it. I was like, awesome. That is an incredible idea. I would be happy to do that video. I did this video. This has been 2 months ago now. There's 500 views on that, which, again, you don't have to care about the views. But it was well received, is all I can say. People liked this video. It did well. And I had a good time with it. I did not do it live. I did it as a video as opposed to a live, and maybe I should have done it as a live, but I didn't. That video was copied almost verbatim 2 weeks later. I was not credited. Ryan Gong was not credited for creating it. And I'm pretty sure they took it right out of my Discord because that's the only place they could have gotten it or even known about it until it was created. So that's a difficult situation. Not something that you want to see. This was how that video actually looked. I went through talking about it and sorting these games out one by one. We didn't have TMNT back then. There was a few Zen tables that we didn't have. We started to rate these things. It was a really cool video if you haven't seen it. Definitely check it out. But yeah, those types of things are important. Creative integrity is so important to this community, and I want to make sure that people are getting credit where credit is due. So this video here was actually posted. This is one that I did a couple days ago. There's another video that looks very similar to this now that was done. It was actually posted by @Games before mine, but my video was actually first, like by about 14 hours or so the day before. So I don't know, man. Some of this stuff is really frustrating. As I said, I'm not going to name names. I had receipts. I had a lot of people pointed out that this was happening. And as I thought about it, I was like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to call people out. I would rather meet them head on, talk to them, see how they respond to these types of things. When I didn't get the response that I wanted, I was like, okay, well then I'm not going to have you in my space. I'm not going to have you poison the well. We're not going to deal with that. So, and I'm going to give you this too. And I have apprehension about this because I believed I ripped apart your selections of that. Hey, Dennis B, that's fine. That's the best part of that. If you don't agree with me, I gave you alternatives, right? I gave you lots of other places to look at their content. If you don't not like my opinions or I don't align with your values in some way, shape, or form, you got other content creators to do that for you. Go to them. Go check them out. If you find that they're wrong, then come back to me and give me another shot. But you can do that. That's the beauty of content creation. I'm not going to be for everybody. Not at all. So, fine with that. So when I woke up, I had a whole idea of how I wanted to approach the subject, and this came up today. Now, will first of all tell you I am not a huge Christian, okay? I've started going to church again for the last 5 or 6 weeks. That's a completely new thing. I did it a lot as a kid. I got burned by Christianity and stopped going. I have a Bible app, and when I woke up this morning, this verse was in my verse of the day. So, reading this, it says, "Therefore encourage one another and build up one another just as you are doing." So, this verse, I've never seen this verse in my entire life, but when I read this, considering what I was been thinking about and what I was planning on doing tonight, with this topic of content creator integrity, this couldn't have come at a better time. So, yeah. So whoever, I don't know who sets these verses of the day, but this one hit home pretty hard. You can say God, you can say Spirit, you can say Jesus. Like I said, I'm not a big Christian person, but this verse hit me pretty hard that I'm like, I think you're right. Maybe I don't need to say names. Maybe if people know, if people are in the know, they know, and that's going to be good enough. I hope that anybody watching this is a content creator can respect that if you're going to use somebody's content, that you do it with credit. I'm not going to be the only person to do a top 10 video. Let's be clear. That's not a thing. I even talked a little bit about @Games about it. Like, we're both doing top 10 games, and like, well, that's creative. Yeah, that's going to happen, right? So sure. But I think I should step out and just say, hey, I'm doing a top 10 video. These are my opinions. These are my choices. I know that Chalada Love just did a video last week on his top 10 videos for the sale. But these are my choices, and here's why. Boom. There you go. Credit was given. You even directed them to the channel if they didn't already see it. And then you can give your opinions, and people can choose whether or not they like your content or their content, and they can go on their merry way. So, at any rate, that is that. Next thing I want to do, real quickly, I'm gonna get a little vulnerable with you guys, and I'm gonna show you my dashboard for my YouTube studio. And the reason I'm gonna do this is not to show off my number of subscribers or my number of views or any of that jazz, but to show you this. Let me show you this. So this is my content creator dashboard, right? So this shows you how many subscribers I have, some of my published videos as of late. The numbers are not important here. I don't want to get into numbers. None of the numbers matter. The fact that I have a lot of new subscribers is very important to me, and that is very important. I take each and every one of you as not a burden, but you're putting your faith in me to give you good content, right? And give you enough content. So, look at here. The recent subscribers. I can go right down this list and all these wonderful people, of all the people that have subscribed to me as of late, and all these wonderful people, right? Amazing stuff. Let's go one step further, though. When we talk about content creation, what could be done? If I click on content, you can see a lot of the different videos. And again, I'm being vulnerable here. I'm showing you, yes, the views, yes, the comments. First of all, my comments, I will tell you flat out. If you comment on my video, I am going to respond to you almost 100% of the time. I want that interaction. It's important to me. It's important to me that you've seen my stuff, that I can interact with you, and that we can have a dialogue. Even if I disagree with you. I've had people say I suck, and I'll ask, why do I suck? Tell me why, okay? That's important to me too. But what's important here, look at this promotions page. You can promote your YouTube channel as a business on YouTube. I have not done that, nor will I ever do that. This channel is going to be built on the passion of pinball. You notice I don't do arcade on here. I have arcade. I love video gaming. I don't do much of that. I love pinball. And so, anyway, I know this has been extremely long-winded just to tell you, but content creator integrity is so important. Do not promote yourself on other people's chats. Do not tell people don't use your number of subscribers or views as weapons to take somebody else down. Use them to support other people. If you see a creator that's new, support them. Help them get to 50 so that they can go to do lives. Help them any way you can to support this community and make it thrive. Give people options to look at stuff that they want to see. People are going to spend the time and the money to do this hobby. Give them options. Give them responsible options and good people to watch for this stuff. If you grow it properly and don't buy your subscribers as others have. There are people who do that, and there's reasons for that. From what I understand, you can promote your channel for the sake of getting, you can monetize your channel and then pay for subscribers and views. And then you can falsify your standing in the community, right? You can make it fake. You can trick a company into sending you stuff for review or for codes or any other thing. I'm not going to do that. I've paid for every single piece of at-games stuff that I have. On the micro, on the 4K, I did it on the HD. I've spent more money on at-game stuff than I care to talk about. But I've never been given any of them. I think I got one $10 gift card once upon a time in one of the tournament events. That is the only time that I have bought something from at-games that I did not personally pay for. I did receive a code one time to Zachariah Pinball for the Postal Pack, which I talked about on the channel. I actually got a code for that. Mark was really awesome and gave me a code for that. I will always be transparent about that kind of stuff. I've told you about the HDP that I'm going to receive as a review. That's a thing as well. Little Alien, man, I appreciate it. $10 super chat. That's incredible, man. So I know this has been long-winded. It's a difficult topic. Not something you generally want to talk about, and I totally respect that. If you dropped off in the last half-hour rant here, I totally get it. But this stuff is so important. So I wanted to show that promotions page as something to show you that I'm not going to do that. If you do or not, that's entirely up to you. But don't push those numbers on other people. Don't use your platform to hurt other people. It's just not worth it. Use your platform to help other people. Give them a hand. Pull them up. I do not step on other people's shoulders to make yourself better. It's just not worth it. So, at any rate, Billy Woods Mods, I appreciate you bringing this to light. I know it's not easy to do. Commend you for that, sir. I appreciate it, Billy Woods. And if you've ever dealt with it as a content creator, or even as a person, somebody taking credit from you, or it's not even about the credit, really. It's just that you'd want to be recognized for your deeds and your passions, and that's very important. So, Way Too Fast For You says, thanks for sharing the news because we needed to know. Yeah, it's a thing, and I didn't know it was a thing. Obviously, this new YouTube thing is completely new to me, so I didn't know this was a thing. I didn't know that you could promote your own stuff. I mean, it makes sense, I guess, from a business perspective, if you really wanted to get it out there to promote your stuff and things like that. So that is a thing. So, next up, I just want to run down the list of amazing content creators. I know I already showcased some of them already. But some of the new guys, Pinball Wizard 2023 has a YouTube channel. It's very new. He doesn't even have 50 subscribers yet. I told you he does a lot of the historical stuff for pinball. Dennis B does foul mouth video tutorials. They're awesome. Dennis M, he's in the chat as well. You've done some really good live streams. They're really fun to watch. Tomato Grass, an amazing teacher of pinball, digital pinball. Definitely check his stuff out. Mad Ben Han. This guy is one of the best pinball players on the entire community. He doesn't even have 50 subs yet. If you want to check out some high-end gameplay, go check out Mad Ben Han's YouTube channel. It's out there. Chalada Love, another one of really top players. P-Dubs does pinball stuff, lots of arcade stuff. Really awesome guy. I played Walkabout Golf with him. Awesome character. Chaotic BPR, we already talked about him. He's not here. I think he's actually doing Arcades Anonymous right now. This show is probably at the wrong time format. I probably need to go back to Sundays. I'm messing with Bill's Retro Game Show, who's another great content creator. And Arcades Anonymous, which has a whole group of people, so we may need to address that. Billy Woods Mods, we talked about your channel with comparisons from the FX3 and FX and at games and all those amazing videos you do. You had that really cool RTX shirt on that time. Blaze, who's from the Mox's Game Room, he has a whole channel. He does a lot of shorts. He does a lot of VPX content, good stuff there for pinball. Bill's Retro Gaming Show, of course, I talked about him just briefly. I really wasn't even subscribed to his channel as of recently. That was something that I needed to. When I was on Game Fridge last Friday, I was like, this guy's pretty awesome. I need to hook up with him and do more stuff with him. And Vito from Perfect Storm Gaming was another one. I got to see his channel. I subscribed to his stuff, and I got to see that video on VPins. So there's an amazing community out here of people. And if you... I just hope that people respect that. They find the person in this community that resonates for them, and that you continue to enjoy this hobby as much as I have. Danny, the Cornercade, another $2. Thank you for the super chats, my man. Evening, James. Yeah, it's awesome, man. Gotta support your brother. You got the great merch. I do need to make some more merch. I need to make more prominent. You only need one ball for greatness stuff. Anyway, we'll talk about that in the Discord. But I wanted to thank you guys, each and every one of you. Thank you so much for coming out on a Wednesday night to watch this show. Thank you for allowing me to rant on YouTube creator integrity. I know that's a difficult topic to cover. I hope I did it justice. So much going on in this community right now. Lots of questions with customer support and the Flipper Friends conversions and the Deluxe X and the HDP. There's so much wonderful news coming out with this arcade community, or not the arcade community. It's a pinball community. But anyway, P-dubs, welcome. RTX decided I'm going to copy your content but change it to top 11 videos. And if I use your top 10, I'll add a different one so you can't get mad at me. It's true, it's different. It's different. You can't do it. You're absolutely right, man. Thanks for the shout out, RTX. You the man. Dennis B. Awesome, man. I will support each and every one of you. If you're a creator in any way, shape, or form, I know the Beamy has even talked about maybe doing some VPN content as well. Hopefully he can throw up a tripod and get his cell phone going, because we all want to see his gameplay. I will support each and every one of you. I will bring you on the show if I have to. I'll show your content. We will make it happen. So thank you guys for coming out. I really appreciate it. Again, this show somehow always gets to an hour. I don't even know how that happens. But I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope you have a wonderful week. If we get any new releases, I'll make some shorts of it. Probably not going to happen this week. We usually know by Wednesday if we're going to have new games or not. Maybe next week. We'll see. After the price adjustment for the 14th from Zen, like Dennis B was saying, they're probably going to do another pack next week. So definitely get your Zen tables before Friday. If you do, you have until Sunday for the up to 70% off sale, so make sure you buy those if you can. Med Ben Han, I appreciate the stream. You're welcome, man. Thank you for sharing your perspective on the evening, as I value them. I appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much. Thanks, Retro. Dude, I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much for coming out. All I can say is this, and you know what's coming. You only need one ball for greatness, folks. Keep plunging, and we'll see you on the leaderboards. Bye, guys. Retro